Congratulations, you've survived the CDT all the way through Wyoming. However, now things get complicated. Welcome to the Idaho-Montana border section. For hundreds of miles, you aren't just hiking in a state, you're walking the jagged line between them. The CDT in this area follows the physical continental divide, which also serves as the political boundary between Idaho and Montana. You might wonder why this border looks so strange on a map, like a face staring west. It's because the surveyors in the 1800s decided to follow the hydrographic apex of the Bitterroot Range and the divide. Because mountains don't grow in straight lines, neither does the trail. You will spend weeks crisscrossing this invisible line, stepping from Idaho into Montana and back again, sometimes dozens of times in a single day. Because the official red line stays religiously on the divide, it is from a pure no-bow perspective incredibly inefficient. The trail often swings miles east and west just to make a tiny bit of progress north. This zigzagging leads to the fact that Idaho and Montana have tons of alternates to choose from. In fact, there are so many alternates that you can start taking them before you even enter the state. The Big Sky alternate tries to beeline straight from West Yellowstone to Butte, circumventing the big western loop that the red line takes. The first alternate in the state, however, is the McKinn's alternate. While the official route stays high on the ridge, dry and rugged, many hikers choose the alternate, which drops down into Idaho. It's a road-heavy route, but it offers easy water sources, a vital resupply at Max Inn, and essentially cuts off a rather circuitous loop of the official trail. It's a question of purity versus efficiency. Hike your own hike and take your pick. Pushing north, you pass Leodore in Idaho, a tiny village with a notoriously bad resupply. The trail in this section becomes a relentless series of steep climbs and descents along the spine of the mountains. Chief Joseph Pass is the gateway to Darby further north, another popular resupply town. The official route takes you to Butte from the west, past the Lady of the Rockies statue. But the Anaconda Cutoff is extremely popular. It takes you through the stunning Pindler Wilderness and drops you into the town of Anaconda. While shorter, the Anaconda route offers a mix of paved walking and breathtaking wilderness, showcasing Montana's mining history right alongside its natural beauty. Once both routes converge, you enter the crown jewel of Montana hiking, the Bob Marshall Wilderness, short the Bob. This is one of the most remote places in the lower 48 and the heart of grizzly country. The highlight here is the Chinese Wall, a 22-mile-long limescape escarpment that is visually unforgettable. However, if snow levels are high or fires are burning, hikers often use the Spotted Bear Pass alternate. This route stays low on the valley, avoiding the exposed ridge of the wall. While safer in bad weather, skipping the Chinese Wall is a tough trade-off for scenery lovers. Lincoln to the west of the trail and Augusta to the east are usually the last resupply before East Glacier Village, where most hikers load up for the final countdown. Ultimately, you reach the climax, Glacier National Park. The terrain here is dramatic, ancient, and filled with grizzlies. Passing through here too late in the season can cause issues with early winter snowstorms, as well as park infrastructure being made ready for winter. You also have one last decision to make: where to actually end the hike. There are two ends to the trail. Option 1 is Waterton Lake. It requires a passport to hike into Canada and ends at the beautiful monument near the town of Waterton. Option 2 is Chief Mountain. This is a border crossing into Canada on a highway. It's logistically easier and the better option for hikers who don't have passports or who can't get the permits to cross into the Canadian side of the park. Whichever marker you touch, if you've made it this far, looking back at the mountains and the country you just traversed will be the feeling of a lifetime.